Good afternoon, welcome, good evening to Faith, Lies, and Confusion. I am Godly Mind that goes by the name of Fox the Arsonist. How are you doing today, Fox?
I'm doing well, Reggie. Thank you for asking. A little bit sleepy, but hey, that's why I'm still in my PJs.
I understand. It's the weekend. So today's episode is titled Saying Goodbye to Religion. Fox is a very interesting person. I've probably followed Fox maybe about a year and a half. I don't know a whole lot about Fox, but what I do know is definitely something that I would like to interview her about. The reason I brought her here today. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh gosh, I am. Let me see. Where do I start? I'm actually a doctoral student. Hey, sorry. My dogs. So I told you my dogs are gonna go off.
It's okay.
I'm actually in school for
It's
psychology.
okay.
I'm trying to
Take
get
your
my
time.
doctorate right now. Um, I was in the I was a Christian. I was a Catholic first, and then when I joined the military, I went to every. Hey! Stop! I know. Thank you very much. Stop, both of y'all. And then when I joined the military, I started going to different churches, and so I never found like any kind of home church, but I was really much into the faith and spirituality and just bounce from place to place to place to place. So I never really all I knew was a God. I knew that God loved me and that I believed that God figured out how to make sure my life worked well. I praised him for every promotion that I got in the military and I continued to do so for a long time. Yeah, that kind of sucks, right? But then when you start reading and you learn, it's just like,
Yeah.
what in the world was I doing? Because everything that I praised him for, I completed myself. It was all me, and so here I am, still figuring this
Hmm.
shit out.
Yes, it is always crazy looking back. I remember I was super religious, but with me, I was raised somewhat religious. We didn't go to church a whole lot, but I had the story of going to jail. I had that story, right? Oh,
Oh
and
no, not
God didn't
that
save
one,
me, and all
no.
this and all that. So yeah, yeah.
So you came out
Unfortunately,
God body,
so
didn't
you,
you?
you know what? When because you know, yeah. So when I talk to these Christians, I know how they think. I know exactly what is in their mind because all I have to do is just put myself to my younger self when I went through certain things, and I'm just like, oh, it wasn't no other way but God. Now that I look at the situation, I got out because I did my fucking homework. I'm the one that was reading them books, them law in the law or whatever. I'm the one who was making sure that everything was on point. Nobody else wasn't there, right? It was just me. But when you're raised to think a particular way, and everybody believes what their parents tell them, right? This person brought you into this world. This person nurtured you, fed you. So why would they be wrong? But it just shows, goes to show we all can be wrong, right?
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
the funny thing though,
So
my mom was she was Catholic because she grew up in a convent in Africa. My mom is from Africa, and so you know how Christianity was brought over there. So she came to the United States, and I love talking about my mom. So it doesn't matter. She passed away from cancer, but um, when she came to the United States, she came as the convent brought her over here to be a student, and then she met my dad and then stayed. And the rest of history, she had all of us. But She was like one of the only Christians I can ever say did the things that they be lying about when we talk to them on the other apps and stuff like that. But she always let people in the house. She always made sure like that when somebody come over, they're gonna eat. She gave people homes. Like she brought refugees over here from Liberia, and she made sure that they had apartments to live in and helped them get jobs and stuff. So she did all of these things, and I think that she only like went to church for community, not really because she never was one of those hallelujah, praise God's kind of thing. She was a Catholic. So, you know, all they do is Father, Son, Holy Spirit, get on your knees, get back up. But
Right.
she's the only one that I ever seen do something that like followed whatever, you know, whatever her heart said to do to help people. So, and I think that's what I took from my mom. But that's not the Christian way though. Not the Christian way.
Okay.
My dog's don't get on your nerves. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
What role?
Sorry.
It's okay. What role did Catholicism play in your household growing up?
Oh my gosh. Hey, stop. It played a big role. It played a big role. Every Sunday, we would walk to church because my mom didn't have a driver's license. We had to go to Catholic school for a little bit. And then before we left the house, and this is the condition here, before we left the house, we had to stop, and even if we were running late, we had to stop in front of the cross and say the Our Father, Hail Mary, and then the rest of the whole prayer before we left the house. We couldn't leave the house without doing that. And that was every time. And so growing up, we, people used to make fun of us because we were one African and the other one's like a black Catholic. So in my household, it played a lot of how we were disciplined. It played a lot on if we did something wrong, God's watching you. That was a little bit different. So that's the role it played in my household.
Okay.
I don't think it made us better kids because we're bad as fucking kids. But yeah, go ahead.
Right. It never does. That has no bearing on what a child does. Listen, we can go to church all we want, but in our free time, we're going to be ourselves. That's why you always hear the myth of people like, well, now I don't know if it's really even a myth because there's a little bit of truth to it. But children that are raised and their parents are preachers, pastors, they off the hook.
Oh yeah.
They off the hook. So I mean, again, that people just do what they do, and kids gonna do what they want. But how did you understand faith as a child versus as an adult when you still were a believer?
That's a good question. As a child, I didn't understand it. As a child, I didn't really understand. I just followed, and I was, followed and be quiet. I didn't understand faith. All I knew is I had to get baptized, whatever that meant. And then I got a baptism name that I was proud of. And then I had to do my first communion and confirmation and stuff like that. And I don't know. I didn't really understand it. I never opened the Bible. I didn't open the Bible. I knew the songs. I knew the songs that we sung in church. Because I wanted to be in the choir or whatever, couldn't sing worth a damn, but I didn't understand it as a child. And then as an adult, damn, that is a good question because I still didn't understand it. All I did was just really follow like whatever the pastor was saying. I'll look at verses and stuff like that, but I wouldn't really question them because growing up, don't question God, right?
Right.
The time that I did question, and this is funny. The time that I did question, because remember I told you I go from church to church to church to church. I was in Korea and I was going through a hard time, and I saw these Korean ladies come up and they were talking about their church. And so I needed somewhere to go because every time you feel bad, you run back to church, right? So I did. I ran back to this church, this particular church. They were really nice people, but it was really weird. And this is when I started to question things. It was really weird because they put me in a room and they put this video on and they said that, Jesus was the person who started this church, but he passed away and his wife is still here. The bride of Christ is still here and she is the God. Here we go. And so I'm like, well, okay, woman, let's go with it. Let's go with it. Let's go. And so they had this Bible. So they went by a Bible, but then they had their own book. And I started to question that. Then I said, well, can I meet God? If she's still here, I want to meet her. I want to meet her because I was like on fire. By this time, they had baptized me in the shower. Like, they sprayed me down and shit. And I was in church like all the time. Like on Sundays, I wouldn't be home until late because they ate. And then I went to every service. Come to find out, that was cult. It was a cult. And so I started questioning what, because the food was good, yo. I would have stayed just for the food, for real. But I started questioning. They didn't like that, and I questioned when the Passover came, and they said that I had to wash somebody's feet. Yo, I'm not touching nobody's feet, right? So this is it. I'm done. I'm out. I don't know what y'all talking about, yo. Like. And yes, I was in that cult for about 3 months, man, for real. Like, it was trippy. Like, it was trippy. Hey, yo, the food was good, though. Like, you can get me in the cult if the food good. If the food good, I'm out. I'm going to go join your cult for about a month, as long as the food good.
Oh, wait. I was not expecting you to say anything like that. Anything like that. Oh, my goodness. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
All right, so how did your Liberian background shape how you were supposed to relate to the faith?
With my background, so Liberia was the place that they brought like all the slaves they brought back to the continent. So that's why you would see our flag. And we have that one star, and we have the stripes.
Yes.
And so they were they were really like they were really Catholic. They were really Catholic. Like when I went and lived there for a minute with my mom, I used to go to Catholic school. She sent us to a Catholic school called Cathedral. And so we went there, and then I would walk to church by myself over there. But I knew that something was wrong. And these are like trippy stories because now you got me thinking back. Because my grandma was Muslim and then she changed to Catholic. So it was really, it's trippy how like around my tribe, even though we're Vai, they still are Catholic. They still have a religion that they were never meant to have. But with me as a child, I remember going to the Catholic school and then going to the Catholic church by myself. And it was some weird shit that I was in second grade. And I was in the church, and it was Lent, so they were doing all the the little smoky thing that they do with the palm and everything, because it was Palm Sunday. And when the pastor started to walk out, or the preacher started to walk out, he had the altar boys around him and all, but I got scared, and I ran out the church. Like I ran out the church, like just hot-tailed it out the church because I was so afraid of what they were carrying, the cross and stuff. It was so wild. Like, and then after that, I would have these, and I'm about to tell you out my whole life story. Here we go. I used to have these dreams that after that day, I used to have these dreams that this old witch lady was chasing me. And then one night that dream stopped, and I had a dream because I was a kid, and I believed in God, right? I believed in Jesus. So I had a dream that Jesus came down. I was in church by myself, and Jesus came down, and he said, "Come with me." And I looked up, and I said, "No," and ran out. This was my dream. I never forget it. I never forget it. And after that night, I didn't have that dream about that witch lady chasing me anymore. So weird, right? I said no and just booked it. Like, hell no, no. And that's why I think I can never be comfortable anywhere in any church, no matter if I read it or not. So wow, right? Okay. Sorry, too much about me. Go ahead, Rich. Go ahead.
No. That's perfect. That's perfect. That's what I brought you here for, to tell me about your life and about, your personal experiences. Um, did the military life challenge or reinforce your faith in any way besides what you previously mentioned?
Hell yeah! When I went down, when I went down to Afghanistan, hell yeah, it did. Oh, that's when I went back because I had stopped for a minute. Like everything was Gucci, everything was good. I ain't go to churches, I ain't do none of that stuff. If I did, I would go once in a while and be like, yeah, I don't like this church. Forget it, I ain't going today. But when I went to Afghanistan, yo, a sister was in church every fucking day because you are afraid. You're scared. Like, then you got some people that don't be scared and they just go down there. But then you had me, first time ever in Afghanistan. As soon as I get there, we getting bombed. Shit, hell yeah! I was like, "Where's the chapel?" I became part of the choir. I went faithfully. Yo, it was
I would have too. Jesus.
I'm telling you, man, like, but then that was just a comforting thing to make me not afraid of dying. Like, it was because you be taking a shower and all you hear is boom. And it's like, oh Lord, please don't let this next one come hit me. And then after a while, after you get conditioned to being over there, it's you're like, you hear boom and you're like, well shit, at least I'll be clean when I die. That's your process of thinking when you go down there. When you first go down there, you're scared. You hear boom, you put on a towel, you run out the shower, you go in the bunker. It don't matter what the fuck. You can run out naked if you want to. You can't find your towel, but you going out there. But after a while, you just like, if I die, I die. I'm here. Like, that's how your mind changes out there, and that's what. And then actually after a while, when I first got there, I told you I would go to church. I was in the choir. But when my mindset changed, so did my mindset about going to the church, because God can't help me here. It was more like, it's either going to hit me or it's not. The army paying for the funeral and my family got money. You know what I'm saying? After I die, they'll be all right. That's how your mind changed. That's cold, but that's how your mind changed when you get down there, when you're going through all of that.
I never really thought about the mental aspect of it. Well, I did, but just not like that, because I do know several people that have been over there, because we're roughly the same age, right? So
Yeah.
when I graduated, a lot of people, that's where they went, because that's when the war first broke out. You know what I mean? Like, as
Mm-hmm.
9/11 was literally a year after I graduated, right? So I know a lot of people that went over there, but I never really thought about it like that. Some people have told me that they realize that, and this is getting off topic a little bit,
It's
that
okay.
is really a situation over money. And they said once they realize that, they're like, "Whoa, what am I doing here?" You know?
Mm-hmm. Yep. A lot of people think like that. Yeah. And rightfully so. It's all politics. It's all politics. So,
Correct.
but yeah, your
How
mindset
did this
change.
structure, discipline, or experiences? Oh, sorry about that.
Oh no, say that again.
I said, how did the structure, discipline, or experiences of the military compare to your religious upbringing?
It's the same. It's controlling. It's controlling. When you first come in the military, they tell you when to get up, when to eat, how fast you got to eat, how soon you got to get dressed, how long your shower should be. You know, that's basic training. Then you go to AIT where you it's a little bit lenient, but you still is you got a curfew, you got to come in, and then as you grow up through the military, it's the same thing until you make rank. And then when you make rank, it's just a different type of control. It's still a different type of control, just like if you was to look at like me going to church. As a child, I was told when to go to church, when to pray, how to pray. Can't leave the house without praying. You know what I'm saying? Then as I got older, it was a little bit more lenient, but it was still, structured as I still got to go to church every, on Saturdays or Sundays or Mondays or Wednesday. I Bible study, got women's study, I'm still a Catholic at this point. And now I'm non-denominational. So now I really got more church to go to, and now I got to participate in the church because people look at me a little funny if I don't. So it's the same thing. It's no different. It's a cult is a cult is a cult is a cult to me. Yes, I know. People are like, no, the military is not a cult, but when you look at it, and you look at, we got a top leader, don't we? Where we can really fit the BITE model. If people really looked at it, we can fit the BITE model in the military. You could probably say but it's a brother, it's a sister. We would say it's a sisterhood, it's a brotherhood, because we're soldiers and we're conditioned to think that way. But it's the same as a church. They got a charismatic leader, right? And they follow the BITE model. It's a cult. It's a cult no matter how you look at it. And yeah, we choose to be there. Yet we're there. But you'll fight that name cult. You'll fight the name cult because no, that's just bad, right? But you chose to be there. And you chose to stay there because of your mindset.
Right.
Because you were conditioned to be that way. You were indoctrinated. And the Army do indoctrinate us. Same thing, no different.
That's true. When I rode past a Spanish speaking church, and you know how they have their little billboards and they tell you what time things are starting when they have ass and all that shit. I'll be damned. I said, I'll be damned. And then when I started thinking about how a lot of times I see these interviews about people in the prison system, we can clearly identify. That's a gang. Listen, you can't undefine them as a gang, right?
Yeah.
But we don't think like that when we talk about Christians. Why? Why don't we think like that?
I don't know. That's the thing. Yeah, so, that's what I'm saying.
I agree with you. They apply the same pressure. They try to alienate you. They'll try to put hands on you. They'll do anything they got to do to make you go along with their message. And if you don't do it, something's wrong with you, not them.
Right.
They're all cults, gangs, whatever word you want to put there. It's that. Because they're all synonyms either fucking way.
And I think like
how did
sorry
about that, go ahead.
No, I just think like with the church too, with the indoctrination and condition, they just make you hate people for no reason. Like I know, like I talk about my mom all the time, and the Catholic Church used to do the same thing with like the LGBTQIA and stuff like that too. And it's funny because I'm bisexual, so my mom always knew, right? She thought I was gonna get with a woman, right? So my mom always knew, and she when I finally came out to her, she was like, well, I knew that but she still had a little bit of that bigotry in her because of her upbringing in the Catholic Church. You're supposed to marry a man and this and that and all this stuff. And it took a lot of conversations with her, with me and her talking, for her to actually understand, like, this is what the religion, did to you. It made you become a bigot. It did. And she finally understood it, and before she passed away and stuff like that. And she actually opened up to, like, everyone. Like, she never shunned anyone out, but she had that, well, you shouldn't do this because it's wrong in God's eyes. But after all the conversations with me and her, and that was my best friend. She, like, was my best friend. So I would always talk to her about everything. And she finally, that bigotry that she had because of the religion left. Like, she didn't have it anymore. It was now like people could be people, and I love people because I love humanity, and that's how she left this world. And I don't know, that's something that the religion do. So, like, when we talking to these people, and as soon as we mention the community, they're such bigots, man, and I hate that shit about the thing. And even still, like, with 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 people that have deconstructed, and that's why I like to say a lot of times is, just because you deconstruct the religion and the religious beliefs don't mean that you didn't deconstruct anything else. Like, you still have to work on your bigotry, because we all have our biases and stuff like that. So we have to continue to work on that. If you're going to say you deconstructed fully, then you have to have gotten rid of the misogyny, the bigotry, the disdain you have for people that you think, that are different from you. And if you haven't done that yet, then you haven't deconstructed all the way yet, and you have work to do. I don't know. That's just something I thought about, because I get sad when I see, like, people that have deconstructed, that haven't gotten rid of racism yet. That haven't got rid of the phobias yet, homophobia, transphobia, all these things. That is not trying to even work on it. So I just get sad about that. I'm one of these emotional people. Sorry. I'm one of these people that have, like, this whole bunch of empathy for everybody, and I just love people, and when I see, I don't know, I just love people. I love people. I'm one of those. Everything is like some SpongeBob type shit, like, and some Lego shit. Everything is awesome. That's me. That's the type of person I am. Everything is always awesome, and I'm always trying to help people, and I don't like to see people harmed or people shunned out because of who they are. So I don't know. I'm one of the, the little Lego dude. You didn't watch the Lego movie. Don't say you didn't watch the Lego movie. When he was like, everything is awesome. Yeah, that's me. I know I'm a weird person. I told you I'm weird. I told you I'm weird. I told you I'm a weirdo.
No. Listen. Either you're weird or you're a follower. It's one or the other. You can't. You have to pick a side. But you know what I like? Something that I'm listening to what you're saying. My internet not trying, because I don't care what anybody says. If you were ever a part of a Abrahamic religion, and especially the two big ones, right? There's no way that you don't have these ideologies still. Some of it is still gonna stick with you. My older brother, rest in peace to him, he passed away 13 years ago. He was gay, and he also was very religious, right? And I've just always always asked him, like, how does that go together? Even though he was religious, he was bigoted towards himself. He thought that something wrong with himself.
Oh
Literally did.
man.
And I never could understand. Me leaving Christianity, um, it's something that I have to work on. I try and I work on it daily because if you think about it, right, if we just think about the conditions the way it is in the United States, right, by being a heterosexual man, as I am, right, it's kind of the cool or acceptable thing to belittle people who are gay. And if you do not engage in that type of behavior with people that aren't gay as well and they are religious, they feel like either you're gay too or something's wrong with you for not joining in on an activity. I don't participate in the activity because I tell people all the time, um, human beings are human beings, right? I don't give a fuck what a person does in a personal life. Why do I care about who you choose to have sex with? And my second
Right.
point is, why are people that are heterosexual, whether if you're a believer or not, why are you trying to regulate their behavior? Is this what you wake up and think about every day? Really?
Yeah.
There's got to be something else going on in the world that you occupy your table. What about world hunger? Things like that. You know, with me, I think my uh, part that I need to educate myself on, because it's really a matter of ignorance if you really want to break it down, is terminology. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? A lot of times, it's just like, I'll make a good comparison. A lot of people don't know is derogatory to call a little person a midget. Most people don't know that. I know it, but the average person doesn't know it, right?
Right.
It's
Right.
no different than a lot of people. I'm not going to say a lot of people. Well, yeah, a lot of people, but not more than half don't know it's derogatory to call a trans person a transvestite or a tranny. Some people don't
Yeah.
know that,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's just a constant learning thing, right? Because if you don't have knowledge on what's going on and you don't know, sometimes you could be, be saying something derogatory and not even be attempting to. You know what I mean? Needs to
Yeah.
educate themselves more. Um, and I think that the situations will get a lot better. You know what I mean?
I think a lot of times too, I think is taking the correction and moving on with it, right? Um, a lot of times
I also
Christians
can look
don't
at it
want to take
as the
it.
situation as how they used to treat us
Yeah, yeah,
as black people.
yeah. And I just those beliefs, like those beliefs, they they fuck with you, man. I'm sorry, can I cuss? I'm sorry. So they really do fuck with you, and they
Yes,
fuck with your
absolutely.
mind. They fuck with your mind, and it is it's disheartening
They do.
uh because they become so stubborn because God said so, or the Bible says so. So it like they become so stubborn that you, we do this thing like we all like my little fabulous group, my besties and all of them. You know all of them. Um, we're always doing like these lives, and we talk about. I love talking about the people mindset and the conditioning and how it uh one who came up. I think it was Dreamy and Quan, and I did it once, and I think Birdie did it before. But we say Christianity limits your, like, I think I said Christianity limits your cognition. And then Quan has something similar. And then Dreamy the other day had uh limits your ability to think or something like that. Christianity limits your ability to think. And it does. It limits. It puts you into this box. Like Christianity puts you into this box, and it says you can't look left or right. You only have to look straight forward. So when you get new information, the cognitive dissonance that they have, the wall that they put up will not let them accept new information. No matter how much they say, I will accept new information, they don't, and they won't, because it will shatter their belief system, which causes them to hurt mentally and physically. So it's hard for them to accept that new information, even though they know that new information is right. Even if we read the same book, the same Bible verse, they could shake their head, yes, but they're still going to go, no, I don't agree. They'd be like, I don't agree. I don't agree, right? That's what they're going to do. And when you're coming out of it, when you're deconstructing from it, you still got that. You still got that block somewhere, because you still gotta be able to punch yourself in the head and be like, cognitive dissonance, go away. You know what I'm saying? So it's so intriguing to see somebody that is deconstructing and they just started, but they're still trying to go back to the God. So it's like they're pulling in both directions, and they're struggling. They're struggling, and they're going through grief too. If you don't, people don't think so. You do go through grief when you start deconstructing, because you're chopping away part of your identity that you have for a long time. So I don't know, that's some of my psychology stuff. Okay, that's nerdish stuff. Move on. That's nerdy.
Did I tell you about the story about my grandfather?
Wait, you broke up a little bit. You wait, what? Huh? Wait, who? What?
Oh, my ass tripping. But I was talking about my grandfather. Listen, I tell people this all the time. My grandfather was illiterate. Right? But he's one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. I mean, he told me something that I will never forget. I will never forget this. Right? Well, two things he told me. The other part is just is silly. One thing he told me, right? And I'm embarrassed about it. Because again, at the beginning of the stream, that I grew up religious, but I was super religious at one point from going to jail. Right? So this is right out of the situation. In this situation, I almost went to jail for life. Literally.
Oh, man.
Right? So I'm super religious, right? And he tells me, I'm on his porch, and this is so fucking embarrassing. He was like, the Bible is the greatest story ever told. He was like, there ain't not a word in that damn book true. Right? He was like, it don't make no sense. And I read fucking, oh my God, I was so fucking pissed. I was pissed off. Like that he said this shit, right? Because now he talking about Jesus. He said nothing in his story is. He said it's the greatest story ever told in that book ever exists. I remember, right? I was like, I don't care what you say. 2,000 years ago, the lighting is. And I thought this motherfucker was dumb. I thought my brother was dumb as fuck because he couldn't read. How are you gonna tell me something and you illiterate and you can't read? And you know what? I was a goddamn fool. This motherfucker was illiterate and was way fucking smarter than me. And now that I'm back in the situation, it's so clear because every fucking word he said, Fox, was the fucking truth. He knew for a fact. And I can't believe it. And I'm like, how did you see that without reading it? But just being in the down the Bible, you could look at it through history. You could look at it at a couple different angles. But I was so fucking indoctrinated and so fucking ignorant at this time, and it just pissed me off so bad. So again, to your point, it's like you losing a part of your identity, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking, what identity? These people didn't fucking exist. God rules. I know fucking Israelite. These people don't fucking exist. They never existed. They're no matter people. But when you knew better, you would do better. And it's just embarrassing. No.
See, so now we have
crazy, right?
we have two embarrassing stories. I was in a
Yeah,
cult.
no, I know. Mother,
you know what I'm
saying? My fucking internet is garbage. It's looking back and just. Yeah, I was brainwashed.
Yeah, they got you.
Brainwashed. Mm-hmm. So, what ultimately led you to leave Christianity?
I got tired of it. I don't know. It was one day I got up and I was just like, I'm done with this. It wasn't like and then when I start opening the book, that just confirmed it. But because remember I told you I didn't read that Bible, man. Fuck that thing. But I just believed. But I got scammed too many times. This is what ultimately made me leave, right? I told you I'm a everything is awesome kind of person. And so it made me very gullible. It made me very, very gullible. And so one day I was in this church, and that was back in Colorado. My friend took me to this church. There was and it was a woman pastor. And it was awesome for a second. It was pretty cool. We was clapping our hands and all these other things. And by this time, this is after I left Korea, so I'm questioning everything now. So one day, these homeless people came in, and it just so happened that the collection plate was going around at that time, and these homeless people came in, and we were starting to do testimony. So the homeless person got up there, and he said that his wife right now is in the hospital. They are in they're in the motel, and if possible, can they have a little bit of money so that they can get groceries? Because they didn't have any diapers for the kids and anything like that. And at the end of the church, I went because I was a helper in the church, and I said, "Hey, we just did the collection plate. Can we just give them the money, or can me and the homegirl that brought me there to the church, can we go and get them diapers and food and stuff like that with the collection plate money? Can we use this money to?" She goes, "No, I'm not helping any of them." And I was like, "Wow, what? What do you mean you're not helping any?" And they came in. The woman's in the hospital. Like, we're gonna go see the woman in the hospital, to go lay hands and pray and stuff like that. But you don't want to use but now you just got a whole bunch of money from the hey Afro. So you just got a whole bunch of money in collection plate. Like, we can help these people. You know what I'm saying? At least we can give them a couple more days in the hotel, or fucking feed them or something, get the baby diapers. She said, "No, I left that church." That's when I said, "You know what? Never again. I'm not going to any more churches. I'm not doing it." Because what I did was, out of my own pocket, I said, "You know what? Fuck it. You don't want to help them, then I'm going to go help them." I drove to the store. I went to Aldi's, and I got diapers, I got food and everything like that. My friend paid for a couple more nights in a motel for them until like the shelter to get back with them, to get them into like temporary housing, because that's all they was waiting for. So I went over there with the groceries, and he wasn't lying. He wasn't lying. And then he was like, "Hey, can you take me to the hospital so I could see my wife?" We went there in his hospital, and his wife was in the hospital bed. And she was like, "I don't want y'all to lay hands on me or anything like that." And I said, "I didn't come to do that. I just came to, say that I hope you get better, and that we're, hopefully the housing people will come and get y'all out of here and stuff like that. But I do hope you get well." She was like, "I don't want no more church people around me." And that at that moment when she said that, I said, I won't be another church person. because y'all don't care about people. Like y'all talk a good game saying, hey, you're my brother and sister, and God says come with love and all these things. But when it comes down to it, a whole collection plate that you got sitting in your hand you couldn't give to somebody? For real? And you say that you're supposed to be following God's ways? You're supposed to be kind and loving and care about humanity? No, for all you care about is you getting to heaven and you getting the money and you taking care of yourself. You don't care about nobody else but yourself. And that's how I saw all the church people. And as I reflect back to every church I went to, they were all the same. Every single one of them. And I will say for the Catholic Church, they do be giving up some donations and food drives because we had to do a whole bunch of shit. Can drives, food drives, walkathons, all these things to help the homeless. So I don't know, but like all the other churches I went to, they didn't care about homeless people. They talked about them. I remember being a kid and going into a Baptist church. That's why I said I never stepped, but it was only 2 times I've been in a Baptist church, and I would love to tell these stories if you let me. So the first time I went into a Baptist church, I went with my friend, and as Catholics, it says come as you are. So we could wear jeans and t-shirts and all this stuff and everything like that. Uh-oh, Reggie, where'd you go? So you could wear t-shirts and all this stuff. So I went there to a Baptist church, and those ladies talked about me.
I'm still here.
Okay, yeah, those ladies talked about me. They talked about me. It was like, well, you didn't wear a dress. Well, I grew up poor. The only thing I had was bell-bottom jeans and t-shirts, right? We got them from the thrift shop. That was our shopping place. But they talked about me. I said I'll never step foot in the in a Baptist church again. Well, I lied about that because I was down in the city suburbs, and I was being bad, and I was hanging with a boyfriend that I had, and we was out in the back, and his back, and the cops came around. And they was like, oh, shoot, the cops. And, we had to run. So we jumped the fence, and it was a late night church going on. And we ran into a Baptist church. That was the second time I ever been into a Baptist church. And the police just walked past. Good. At least God covered me that day, right? But that's the only time I went to the Baptist church. I said I'll never step foot in there again. Them people evil. They evil as hell. Those are the worst people I ever met in my fucking life. They talk about everybody. Everybody with them big ass hats they be wearing. They didn't take them flower fucking hats off. Well, I can't stand them. They quick to judge you. Quick to judge everybody. Well, I can't stand them Baptist motherfuckers. Out of all the people, I'm sorry if you Baptist, you may be a kind, nice person, but when you get in the church and you start talking to those church ladies, y'all act the same way. Y'all act the same way because you want to follow into a group. Because I talk to Baptist people outside of the church. As long as you outside of church, you sound pretty okay. But when you go in a church and you got to hang with your folks and you have to be part of the crowd instead of being one to stand up and say, hey, don't talk about that little girl. You don't know why. You don't know why she came in jeans and a t-shirt. Maybe those are the only things she had to wear. But instead, you just talk about that person because you got to hang with the fucking group. You got to hang with the group. You got to have that group think. Because without that group think, you wouldn't know who the fuck you are. That's all. I don't know. Sorry. Now I'm mad. So see, you that mad. Got me mad about that. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
The Bible says come as you are. No, that shit don't even make no sense when they be on that. But, I'm sure you know now how Baptist church rooted in the South. I mean, that's usual behavior. I mean, it's easy saying from now. I look at it. When we young, me bad things. Either didn't know or probably didn't care. Well, mine didn't in that situation. So what happened? How did your family, especially the elders, respond to?
Oh, you broke up. I couldn't hear the question. Sorry.
If I'm going, just.
But I missed that. I missed the question because you broke up a little bit.
My internet's breaking up a little bit, so I don't know if you heard me. Did you hear me, Fox?
No, I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you. Now your mouth is just moving. Reggie, I'm gonna need you to get some better internet.
Right. Did you hear the question I asked you?
No, no, I didn't.
Okay. Okay. So the question I asked you was, I said, how did your family, especially the elders, respond to your decision to leave Christianity?
Oh, they said I'm a weirdo. So they already knew that I'm a defiant kind of. I was one of those defiant kind of people. I'm a deviant.
Take that as a no. You ain't heard me that time.
Yeah, no. I did. How the elders respond. So I'm a defiant kind of person. I go against the grain all the time. My aunt hates it. She always tries to push me back, and I'll be like, nah, don't throw that stuff at me. Like, I'm not with that. And they try to respect it. They do try to respect it. But they knew that I was always that one, being the baby of the family, the baby out of 10. They knew that I was always that one that's always like this hippy dippy, free flowing person that'll go where the wind takes me. So they didn't trip. My mom ain't trip. And I think that was the good part about it, that I could talk to my mom about anything. And when I did tell her, she didn't. No, none of them tripped, except my aunt. Like my aunt, because she is really holier than thou. Nah, she's not a bad woman. She does missionary work and all this stuff. And they would call it, right, missionaries. She do all types of work, and she's really a nice person. But she's full of the fire and spirit of the Holy Spirit, and so me telling her is like probably like a shock to her chest, and she do try to push me back in. She still be sending me the and I know my family probably in here looking at this shit right now, and then y'all gonna go back and tell her it's okay, you can, because she already know. But she still sends me the lighthouse shits and all this stuff. They go run, go tell that. They know who I am. They know I got a mouth on me too. Like the way I talk to people, like I always tell people I got two sides, right? I only got two sides. I don't have a middle ground. So either I'm really, really nice or really, really mean. And I like to stay on the nice side. But she always sends me these things. God to bless you and all this stuff. And it's just like, yeah, whatever. And I just kind of throw those away. I don't even read them. I'm like, better get this demon stuff out.
Nice. Here too.
Well, you said what?
I said you're nice on TikTok and you're nice on here too. So
yeah, I try to be. I don't like being mean to people. I don't like being mean. I don't like judging people. I don't like doing none of that stuff. Like, I just want everybody to be okay. But I do get taken advantage of because of it. Yeah.
I don't like them at all.
Oh man.
Especially black ones, because you know good and well how the fuck shit, and you know good and well then I've seen a motherfucker from Ethiopia, Daniel. And if they have seen an Ethiopian, it ain't nobody but Selassie, and he don't look nothing like no black person I've seen in my life. So I ain't trying to hear that shit neither.
Oh man.
So how do you describe your beliefs and worldview today?
That's a great question. I don't really have a belief, right? Because belief is like hope for something, right? I do hope for things, but I don't have a belief in anything. I know me, and so when people ask me that question, I say I know me. I know me, and I know me well enough to say that I'm still learning me. So there's no belief in me because I know me, and I know the things that I am able to accomplish and do. So there's no belief there. Like my worldview now is is all about like we can do better. My worldview is like I always look at things as they're okay, but we can always do better as a society. Um, Once we start dropping the the bias that we have with certain things, once we stop hating each other for no apparent reason, just because a book tell you so, I think that I don't have limitations on what my view can be or my perceptions. I try to always try to be learning something. So my views will always change. They're always going to change depending on the information that I take in. And I always look at too, like my views are always going to change because I'm always changing. I'm going to forever change for the new, and like everything that I learn and I grow from. And I'm never going to stop doing that. So my view is it's not ever going to be a set worldview for me. It's always going to change. My world around me is always going to change. So that's how I see things.
Okay. What has brought you peace or meaning since leaving Christianity?
My son, my daughter, my dogs, my cats, look, and a little snake. So and me doing some introspection. Me learning that I could be me without any other influence, that I have a voice that brought me peace, that I can now use my voice where I was never able to use it before. I was always the silent one, and I always agreed on everything. I was always gullible. I just went with the flow because that's what I was supposed to do. And now I don't do that. And that brought me peace. Me being able to stick my whole chest out and say, I don't like this shit. So don't do it. Instead of just accepting everything because God said you're supposed to have, this is what I was told. God said you're supposed to have unconditional love for people. And that caused me to have unconditional acceptance, which caused me to accept abuse. So what brought me peace is knowing that you don't have to have unconditional love. Love can come with conditions. You can love people, you can love them from a distance, but you don't have to accept abuse. You don't have to have unconditional acceptance for anything. If you don't like it, then you just don't fucking like it. And then if people don't if people try to force you or coerce you into doing those things, you don't have to do it, because you don't have to have unconditional love for anything, because love should have conditions. It always should, because a condition is a boundary. It's a boundary that you make that is a boundary that you make that you don't have to. You can set that boundary and say, I'm gonna love you all the way through this. And if you break that boundary, or I'm not going to set no rules. I'm not going to say you can't do it, but I can say this is a boundary for me. I don't like it. And if that happens, I'm leaving. So I can have all the love in the world for you, and I can love you even when you leave, but you don't have to stay with me. You don't have to be here, especially if you're gonna abuse me and manipulate me and harm me and mentally and physically. So that's what I say. That's what brought me inner peace. My voice and learning.
I respect that. I respect that. That makes 100% sense. So I hate the fact that, oh, I love you, brother. You don't fucking know me. You don't know me. Like, why do these people pretend like they love everybody? You don't. If my ass die right, you might just go at most, and that's the end of the conversation. Why can't we just be honest about that? Right? That is a
Yeah.
fact. It's impossible for me to love everybody. I don't got it in me. Family members I don't even. I mean, I'm not saying my close ones, but there's some I don't give a fuck about. Let's be real. And not being Christian lets me be able to say, hey, they're family, but they did X, Z, so there's no way that I can actually love them, or I love say that because that's the truth of the situation. And people just want to live a lie a lot of times. I'm only going to ask you 2 more questions. I'm going to get out of here. My internet is being the biggest hater today
It's
ever,
okay.
but it is what it is. So, what do you wish people understood about faith, culture, and personal choice?
I wish people would understand that everyone's culture, that everyone's culture is their own. They have their own values and systems that they grew up with, and be acceptable of those things, because nobody's a monolith, right? Nobody's the same, and so accept, accept that culture and say, oh, okay, y'all different from me. That's cool. That don't make you any that don't make you a bad person. You're just different from me. Um, with you, and you said faith. You said faith.
Faith, culture, and personal choices.
Okay, faith. I want people to know that faith is just what it is. It's okay. You can have faith in things, but um, don't think that faith is something that's going to come true, like it's going to happen just because you have faith in it. And that's what, drop that religious thought that if you have faith it's going to happen. Sometimes it don't, because when you put so much in faith and it don't happen, it can break you. You can have mental breakdowns from that. So don't don't put all your eggs on and all your bets on faith. You have to be able to do things and accomplish things yourself, because that's how life is. Like you're always doing something, right? And faith is not going to get you through anything. You can have faith and that's fine, but don't make it a factual thing, because faith is not facts, right? And then personal choice. Everybody have their own personal choice, and that's cool. You should, because you are you. But just because that's your personal choice, don't make it mine, right? Don't put just because you chose to be religious, don't mean that I wanted to or I want to. So don't push that shit on me. That's your choice, is your choice, is your choice. You keep that shit to yourself. That's why it's called a personal choice. Does that answer that? I'm gonna need you to pay for your Wi-Fi and
Amen to that shit.
Get some foil with the antenna and put it on your Wi-Fi, man.
Let's hit inspect real. I'm gonna make the hat. Put the hat on the full hat. Maybe that'll make it just come right to me. All right. So, final question: what advice would you give someone, especially from a religious or immigrant background, who is questioning their faith?
Oh, it's a good question. First, I would say I'm not trying to push you in one direction or the other. The choice is always yours. But I would tell them to take away the religion, take away your biases, and just read the book. Read the book for yourself. And then you come up with a decision for yourself. Either one or two things gonna happen. You're either gonna start questioning and walk away, or you gonna question and stay because you accept the things that's happening that the God has done. That choice is yours, not mine to make. And if you choose to do that, if you choose to stay, you keep that shit over there with you. Make it your own personal thing. Don't make it the world's, because it's not the world's view. It's not yours to give to anybody else. You like it, you love it, you keep it for yourself. Or you walk away. But leave everybody else alone if you in that process of you doing it. And know that, and the last thing I would say to them, think about this while you're reading. Who are you without the God? Can you describe yourself without the God, without that religious belief, and without the things that people told you you're supposed to be? Who are you? And once you could say that, then you could really find out whether you belong in that religion or not, or you don't. That's what I would tell them.
Right. That's a very good answer. But I think without God, I'm just gonna sit there and just be like, you know what? I don't even want to talk to you no more.
And pray for your Wi-Fi, okay?
Thank you for coming on here and talking to me today and sharing your life experiences with me with religion. Right, I'm gonna pray for me too. Jesus, please help my
Jeebus.
Wi-Fi.
Jeebus, please.
But
Jeebus.
cover me in the blood. Make it rain down upon me.
not the chicken noodle soup. Clear it out.
Spectrum, your motherfucking days is numbered. Spectrum, your days is numbered. You better believe that shit. I'm switching. Fuck this. I don't got time for this shit no more. They put that damn fiber shit outside my house probably like about 5 or 6 months ago. They keep sending the damn flyers. I'm about to switch. This is it. I'm at the end of the road after this. No more. But thank you, Fox, for stopping by and sharing your experiences with me. I do apologize for my internet, being on whatever the fuck is on today. I don't know. Thank you, Afro, for stopping by. Thank you for Mother of Prep for stopping by. Who else stopped by? Thank you, everybody else, for stopping by with another episode of Faith, Lies, and Confusion. Tonight, I get out of one of my TikTok bands. I know this is getting pathetic, right? I get out of one of my TikTok bands tonight, so I'm definitely gonna be going live, hosting debates. I'm gonna have to kick people faster, but I'll definitely be there. I thank y'all again for stopping by.
Thanks,
Good night.
Reggie.
Thank you for stopping by.